Welcome, everybody, traders, enthusiasts, algorithm fanatics, whatever you want to call yourselves. This is a launch event, one that I've been planning for some time. Jeff and I have been working behind the scenes on, bringing volume profile to the limelight in a different capacity. And this one kind of pulls on my heartstrings a bit because I'm an OG volume trader and I have a lot of respect for volume trading strategies. And for those of you that know volume profile, you guys are going to be right at home with today's presentation. For those of you that are interested in volume profile, I can assure you this is going to be something that you're going to be truly impressed by. I know I was when we finished it, and I'm excited for today's presentation. First and foremost, when we do these events, we do record them. So those of you that are just joining us for the first time, let you know that we will send out a recording. We'll go over the details of every special offer at the end of the event, as well as you will have an opportunity to see that in an email. My team is here to assist, and they can go over questions as you put them in the chat box. If I don't answer them right away, it's not that I'm ignoring you. I'm trying to stay on topic. I've got a lot of stuff to discuss and want to make sure that you guys get the best out of this event. Okay. So before I go any further, I just need to know who in here has respect for volume in the market. Right? Give me a yes if you respect volume, you understand it's important, you understand why it's important, and you can understand the need for knowing about volume. Okay. It's important stuff. Yeah, it's a big impact. Yeah, it's really, really important. It's one of the most important. Okay. Price action and volume rule everything. Order flow is a price of it. Order flow is like volume and price action, right? It just depends, right? And we're going to get into that here. What about volume profile? How many of you guys have experience with volume profile? Just type a yes in the chat box if you've got experience with volume profile, you understand it to some capacity, or maybe you're new, but you want to learn it, right? Great. Well, we've pioneered a new aspect of volume profile. Very similar to what we've done in order flow is that we're known for pioneering new grounds in doing things that others just don't do very well, right? We push the norm, we break boundaries, and that's why we have really amazing products to be able to trade and leverage in the financial markets. Now, what we've done with the VABO Algo, VABO stands for Value Area Breakouts. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into automated volume profile signals. We are automating the profile in this system. And one of the things I love about today's presentation is that you can't do this manually and you won't be able to capture the same types of results because of the way volume profile unfolds in the market. We're going to get into that here today over the presentation. Now, ironically, because of the way we've built the system templates, if you're a day trader and you're looking for a quick one-to-one trade, or if you're a trader that's looking to capture the big meat of the market every day, this strategy is going to basically accommodate both. You're going to be able to scalp as well as hit the big moves, especially on the big breakouts that happen outside of volume, and we're going to get into that today. So I promise you, this is an event that you don't want to miss. Stick around to the end. If you do, you'll get a chance to win a free license, and you're also going to get an opportunity to get one of the most badass volume profile systems that's ever hit the market. Okay, and we're going to get into that today. Now, I do need to cover a quick disclaimer because what I'm about to do is lead with performance metrics. In order for me to do that, I need to make sure that you all understand and accept the risk disclaimer. Please do so. Read it, take it in, understand it. Give me a Y in the chat box that you know that I cannot guarantee you anything in financial markets, right? I wish I could. We all wish we could, but I'm not God, right? I'm not a genie. I'm going to do my best to educate and instruct and provide value. But all of that said, you are also responsible for your own decisions in the market. Past performance never guarantees future results. Yeah. We've all heard it. We've all said it. We get it. Okay. So, we're going to change things up a bit. Okay. I'm just going to get right into results because, I've been sitting around the last little while and I've been doing this a long time, building systems, trading, doing presentations, working with traders. And, in reality, education is key, right? How many of you guys believe you need education in trading? There's a level of need for education. You need to learn what you're doing. Yes, give me a yes or a no. Okay. But how many of you guys will want to learn something that is backed with good performance? Like, why would you want to learn something that is subpar, right? For me, I'm at that mindset, like, don't waste my time. Time is precious, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share with you, these are the results of the last couple weeks on one of our strategy templates. Now, the difference here is the net profit is so much more large compared to the other systems we've been building. And you know, the reality is that because we're in an R&D environment, we build a lot of strategies. ARC has a huge dev team. We have a big QA team. We have a big process for building systems and rolling them out to the audiences that trade them. We see things differently, right? Some strategies do certain things. Some strategies are good. Some strategies are mediocre. Some strategies are amazing, but it just depends on what strategies are designed for each. What we found with the volume profile system is that the overall net profit was so much larger than any of the other systems we were building. I just think it was because of the fact that it's based on volume. And when you leverage volume, you can do things differently. Now, what does that mean? Well, some strategies are really great, but it only produces like 3 or 5 grand over the last couple of weeks, where this is producing 3 to 4x net profit ratio to drawdown. To me, that is something worth paying attention to. That means it's hitting, and it's hitting frequently, right? And so why is that? Well, because volume is constant. And so what we're going to do is, and the reason I'm showing you this is because literally this is the last couple of weeks. Like, this is the last 2 weeks of trading in April, going into the first week of May. You can see here that these are big numbers, and we're not risking a lot to get that, which is what really, really makes this worthy. Now, we're going to talk about this for a second. What is a breakout long and what is a breakout short? Okay, well, before I go into this, I'm going to do a little bit of a history lesson on volume. I want to make sure that you understand volume. Okay, this is really important. We're going to lead with this. Volume has the ability to create what we call a bell curve. Okay, within that bell curve, this is the POC, or maybe not. Let me just do. Within a bell curve, you have a value area high, you have a value area low, and the point of control can be anywhere within this region, right? We'll call this the value area high, right? We'll call this the value area low. Okay. And the reason volume distributions are built like this is because we use this as, let's say this is the point of control. And the way that statistical deviations work is that you don't need to be a mathematician. If you don't like math, I get you. I understand. I'm not trying to bring to stats class 101, but it's important to understand this. The volume runs on a bell curve distribution, and it works based off of standard deviations, right? From the mean, right? And so when you look at standard deviations, 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviations, 3 standard deviations, right? And same thing here. And why is that important? Well, within the realm of a profile, the value area high and the value area low map out, you know, basically the most volume. Now, you're probably expecting me to say 70%. No, that's the old way of looking at volume. In fact, what we've been able to identify because we built these algos is that the standard way of thinking about volume profile is not always the best. Value areas are dynamic, not static. And this is the issue. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a chart and it's going like this. Everybody is going to look at the profile on the day, right? They're going to have the value area high, the value area low. It's going to be the daily profile. They're going to see this. The problem with that is that's static. And in real time, it doesn't work like that, right? In real time, the volume profile shifts, right? It shifts all over the place. And that's what's called dynamic profiles, which is why when you look at a profile, you can't back test it the same way as if you were trading it in live markets. This has always been the risk and the downside of volume traders. So when you look at volume profile, you have static or you have dynamic. What is the difference? A static profile means the distribution will stay and it'll basically be fixed, which means you'll have the value area high the value area low, the point of control, and it's going to stay static. The dynamic means that this will be moving all the time because the market's moving, and therefore the volume is shifting in real time. And why is this so important? Well, because if you were to go and backtest volume profile, you would need to have dynamic profiles to see where the value areas were and the point of controls were at that point in time. And this is why volume traders wish they could do what we're about to show you, is because you can't. You can't go back and say, where was the point of control on the bar at that point in time during the middle of that candle, right? If you're running a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart or a tick chart, or you need to be able to ascertain what the volume was doing in real time. Very similar to what we did with the order flow, where we freeze the tape in order flow. What we're doing is we're freezing the volume inside of the profiles so that we can see the volume distribution unfolding in real time. And you can see these blue lines. These blue lines are the volume profiles dynamically moving in real time based off of the distribution. And what we're able to do is we're able to identify when volume is being basically shifting, allowing us to trade the breakouts as the volumes are unfolding versus waiting for the static profiles, which everybody can see, which nobody has an edge, and therefore it's completely outdated. So this is why we call it dynamic profiling, which means you have the ability to trade dynamic volume distributions, which to me is not possible manually. You cannot do it because you won't be able to go back every single bar, every single moment in time to see what was the volume distribution happening. Give me a yes that you can see the power behind that. I want to know why you would think that. Give me a yes. Does anybody think that that would be useful? Right? Because you're not waiting until the volume is completed to make the decisions. You're able to make the decisions as it's happening in the market. This is why I like innovating things. I don't like being a follower. Make sense, guys? This is where we're going to do the aha moment. So what you're seeing here is the volume profiles were here. They shifted down. We're going to change the color here so you can see it. The volume profiles were here. They shifted down, then they shifted up, and then we broke out of it. You see how these candles inside of here were inside of the distributions? And then when the volume shifts and the breakout takes place with the shift in volume, that's where we know the market's getting ready to prime the pump. It's like stepping on the gas. Same thing. You can see all the distributions are here. The profiles are sitting in here. The bars are inside there, but it's on these shifts of volume where you get these explosive breakouts. This is where you know where the move is about to happen. And this is why I believe this is one of the best systems we've ever designed, because it's designing for we're freezing volume just like we're freezing order flow. And this is massively an advantage. This is serious alpha that cannot be ascertained without a system that does this. Now, let's get into this. You guys, how many of you guys have been to a lot of webinars? I don't want to just read the slide here. I want to ask you guys some probing questions. How many of you guys go to a lot of webinars, product events, educator events, influencer events? You learn a lot from a lot of people selling things, et cetera, et cetera. The truth is you're looking to increase your edge. That's it. Like you're here today because you want a better edge. You want to find something that's going to generate you more money, that's going to create more alpha, and you want to be able to use shit that's cutting edge that no one else has, that gives you the opportunity to exploit an edge. Am I wrong? Give me a yes if I'm right. I want to know if that kind of hits the bell on the head here with you guys, right? Spot on. Yeah, TJ says spot on. Okay. The truth is a lot of people go from events to events because they're not getting what they're looking for, right? They're on the hunt. You're looking for something new, right? It's like, you know, I don't blame you. That's the whole point of learning. You're on a continuous journey of evolution. Okay. To me, I don't want to just give you an event where we just talk about information. I want to give you a solution where you can just literally see that this is not bullshit. This system is producing, and it's consistently producing. We've been working on volume strategies for a long time. It took us 2.5 years to really nail the order flow algos that we did. It took us a long time to understand the volume aspect. And the reason is that we are able to do things with volume and order flow that others have not been able to accomplish. So when I say this, that today, This system hits, and it's hitting a lot, and it's hitting consistently, and it repeats daily because volume is there daily. And we're able to extract that daily data from the volume profiles, and we're able to freeze it in real time. And you can see this is the results of just one of our templates on a daily basis. These are large days, right? Risking $500 a trade, you're like, it's producing $3,000 to $4,000 daily profit. Those are big numbers. Okay. And we're going to get into this. I don't want to waste your time here. Your time is precious to me, and it's precious to you. I want to make sure that you don't get to this event and you're like, shit, like this is just another webinar. It's not going to be that. I can assure you this. Let's cut the noise. You need to use a system to do this. Can't do this manually. So if you say, well, why can't I just trade this? I'm going to load a volume profile. No, you can't. Don't try. It's not possible. Right? So don't think you can come and hack something together in Ninja or on TradingView or Tradeovate or any other. It's not possible to do what we're about to show you in the systems. You need an algo to do it. Okay. So why would we want to use an algo? Well, because it's going to do things that you can't do. It's going to make you faster. It's going to execute more accurately. It's going to remove the emotions from the equation. Plus, a big one for me is if I'm going to trade anything, I need to see that it's got an edge. Now, what I like about this is that not only is it going to give you an opportunity to see the performance of the last couple of weeks so you can understand what we've been looking at, but it's also going to give you the ability for quick trades or huge trades. Why? Because volume is designed that way. You can scalp these trades, but you can also catch the biggest moves of the day using the system because it's designed to do both, which to me is it's 2-in-1 in my experience. And this is one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this event, is because not all systems are created equal, right? It's truly not. And so the data here gives us an advantage, and I like to rely on data. Now, one thing you're going to find is that the systematic approach to volume profile is completely about what we're sharing here, right? Like when you look at volume, if you draw manual profiles on a chart, there's a level of discretion, right? Let's say you've got a chart, you decide to draw a profile here or a profile there or what. That's to your advantage. That's whatever you're going to do, but it's not systematic. You can't extract proper data from that, which means the human error factor is going to create evidence that you're going to be lying to yourself when you try to repeat the process, which is why a lot of manual traders struggle, is because there's no systematic approach to it, right? Now, we're going to lead with this in that why we automate, because it has a better edge. There's more alpha, which means I can show you results of automation and I can compare it to results of manual traders. And about 8 times out of 10, an algo is going to beat a human. It's just proof in the pudding, right? We just have so many quant traders that just prove it day in, day out. It just depends on which strategy you're trading, right? Now, one thing I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about what we've done inside of the automated systems that make our algo so different. Like, what is it in the strategies that are done differently? And it really kind of boils down to the backbone of our strategies, is that whenever we build a trading system, okay, we're not just building the signals. We have an engine that is used to be able to create different testing components. So when we create a strategy, today's strategy is going to be based on volume profile. It's going to give us a long signal, right, to buy, or it's going to give us a short signal to sell, right? That's called the signals, right? What we do is we actually take the signals and we run different scenarios to ensure, like, are we going to use fixed money management, static? Are we going to do percentage, right? Are we going to basically use fixed stops? Are we going to use volume profile stops? We're going to talk about that here today because we actually have volume profile stop losses and targets built into the strategy. We're going to decide, are we going to run trailing stops? Are we going to run auto break-even analysis? How are we defining the targets? Are we going to use risk and reward? Or are we going to use volatility? Are we going to use fixed stops and targets? These are all possible because we've built a core engine that allows us to test both of those variables. Are we trading the morning? Are we trading the full session? Are we blocking different times around news? These types of things. Are we setting high watermarks in the money management? Are we using certain daily loss goals and limits to filter out the scenarios of giving money back to the market? And a big one is, are we using directional filters, right? When we trade a strategy, are we testing it without direction or with direction? So a benefit to you is that not all algos are created equal. And when you use ARC systems, this actually is built into every algo. So it's a benefit to you, because when we teach you a strategy or we show you alpha and we show you an edge, when you use our systems, our whole mandate is to train you on them as well, not just give you a strategy, say, here, go figure it out. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a webinar. Some of you have already been to our other events. We're going to spend a lot more time in these events teaching you the engine so that you can understand what makes the strategies hum and tick, essentially, right? No pun intended, right? So give me a yes that you think that this would be valuable to you. I could sell you a black box and you could just take the system signals and just turn it on. But then you and I both know that that's eventually not going to work for you, because essentially black boxes never work. The market changes. So therefore you have to understand how to take the strategy and ensure it's always consistently hitting. We're going to show you how to do that. Okay. So what does this look like? Well, we're going to get into this here when we get into the charts, and we're going to show you that in a moment. Okay. So when we look at the volume breakout algo, the volume profile, okay, the whole aspect of this system, okay, is that we're automating the volume profiles, mainly the value areas. The whole point is understanding the shifting dynamics of volume. Now, most people learn that you would set the value areas to 70%. Some people set it to 60%. We've learned that it depends on the market, right? We've seen 90%. You say, what do you mean 90%? Well, the stats tell us 90%. You would not know that unless you had an algo to be able to verify that data. So rather than having a volume profile that basically was here, maybe it should have been here, and it gives you way better trades. And these are the things that we're able to identify in dynamic profiling. Now, this one's important because this cannot be done without an algo, which means these blue lines that are moving, that's the volume unfolding every single bar. And the value areas are shifting all the time. And based off of the rules, we need to be able to take the entries, right, based off of the rules of shifting volume, which means we freeze the volume on every single bar so we can go back historically and say, okay, there was the trade. Because if I look at a static profile, the value area high might be here, maybe there, but that's not accurate. That's not in real time. So why is this important? Because by doing this, you can use it on any bar type. You can use it on any time frame, because we're freezing the volume intra-bar, which means you can use it on anything, which I would highly encourage you to do, because some of you like Renko charts and range charts and minute charts, volume charts, tick charts. It doesn't matter, because the profile is the profile. And when we freeze the profile, you can do whatever you want to do. And that's the key here. Now, you're not going to have a shortage of trades with this system. Unlike strategies that rely on indicators and certain things to line up here and there, volume is present 100% of the time, right? On big moving days, you're going to have huge runs. On range days, you're going to have short runs, but you're still going to have volume. That's the key. And a lot of traders say, well, can I trade it on any asset class? 110%. It's designed to trade volume. It's not. This is not a system that was built for just the S&P or for futures, right? You could use this on anything. And we've also built it so that it adapts into Forex by using different distribution analysis. Forex, we can allocate uptick, downtick distribution to the bid ask, because Forex data is different, but the system's adapting to that. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Now, how many of you guys have seen some of the other strategies that we've put out and you felt that they were kind of complex a little bit? You know, how many of you guys felt that they were a little complex? Some of you, I can see some familiar names in here. There's been a few of you, a lot of customers in here. Some of them you felt like they're like, whoa, like, you know. That's what I love about this. It's super simple. Like, it's super simple to learn. It's super simple to understand. You have two lines that are shifting all the time, and we freeze them. And when things happen, you get trade activity. And it's very easy to test it. It's very easy to trade it. It's very easy to understand it and see it happening, which to me is exciting, because sometimes I just like keeping things simple as long as it's making me a lot of money, right? So if you're trading your own accounts or you're looking to get funded, it doesn't matter with this system because it's going to be designed to do both. It really just depends on, you know, how many trades you want to take a day. Now, let's go in and take a look at the breakouts. So unlike static profiles, you can see here, let me show you this. When you take a look at this profile, the profile shifted, it expanded, right? Whereas this one didn't. It went here, this one stayed flat. So this is where you can see that volume is never a constant in terms of how it looks, how it reacts, but it is always present. So when you take a look at the two different types of trades, both of them did what they were supposed to do, where the breakouts are taking place on the volume distributions. However, volume is completely different in both scenarios, which means every single day, volume will be different. Our system is designed to capture those dynamic shifts in volume and make sure that no matter what the volume is doing, your trade setup is still relevant, which to me is why we have dynamic freezing, so that you can actually freeze the volume in real time when the trade setup happens. So it doesn't matter if you get weird volume patterns, the strategy is still going to execute based off the breakouts because we're looking at the same pattern relative to that volume that time, which to me is freaking amazing. Like, if you're going to get right down to the nuts of it, the nuts and bolts, like, I wish I built this years ago, especially when I was running trading rooms, because a lot of us tried to do this manually and go back to test. You couldn't see the volume. And so this is what I mean, pioneering new space. Like, this is an edge that I wish, as a very experienced trader, I had developed years ago. I know Jeff and I were talking about this. Now, very simple. Value area highs, when the pattern is true and the breakout is true, we take the long. Value area lows, the pattern is true, we take the short. Depending on how we want to manage the trades, you have the ability to manage the trades based off of volume, volatility, or fixed ticks. So what does that mean? Well, if you've got a volume profile, right? You have a long trade here, breaking out of the volume profile areas, okay? You have the ability to place your stop loss at the point of control, at the value area low, based off of volatility, or based off of ticks. So we're able to actually backtest and optimize algo volume trade management versus just rudimentary details, right? Because a lot of times you can put your stop loss behind the point of control, and it's a really, really good place to put your stop loss, because if volume is going to come in and test and come out, if it fails the volume, it's because volume. This is what volume traders dream of, is that you have the ability to show the data of the profiles. Like, so many people would say, oh, I'm going to place my stop below the point of control or the value areas. Well, based on what data? Like, show me evidence that that makes sense, right? And that's what I mean. Data rules everything. We have the ability to test and validate that, right? And be able to prove in the thesis that that is the best way to manage the trades, which to me is amazing, because the profiles are also dynamic. The point of controls are dynamic. The point of controls are not static. So this is the whole point of, like, if you tried to do this in a manual environment, you cannot. But yet it's one of the most powerful things you could do, because volume is the king of the market. So super, super excited to show you this. Let me show you an exact unfolding of the plan. So let me show you some examples. I like examples, okay? Here's an exact trade setup, okay? Now I want you to understand what's happening, okay? This white line is the start of the profile period, okay? This is the ending of the profile period. We're going to get into that in the training session. But take a look at the blue levels, right? Like, take a look at inside of these candles. Let's just draw a little box around these bars, okay? The market's sitting there chopping around. The value areas are going here, 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 right here, boom. And then all of a sudden, you see a shift. Look at the size of this profile. It shifted the size. The profile shifted. It moved up, and then we got a huge break outside of it. If you were looking at that without us freezing the volume on every single bar, you would probably have the Valeria low going like this. You'd probably have the Valeria high going like this. It wouldn't have moved. And you wouldn't know when the volume is shifting. And right as soon as that happens, when the move explodes, it's because that's when the market is showing, hey, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to break, and I'm ready to pop. And the volume leads that, right? Volume leads that. That's the conviction. And there would be no way for you to be able to take these trades using fixed profiles. Okay, so what happens is that this is where you place the stop. You're going to see this stop loss was placed here. The entry was here. The target was here. This is a 1-to-1 trade. Okay. Does everybody understand that? I know that, sometimes new traders coming in, they say, well, Sean, you're going a little bit fast. Give me a yes that this kind of makes sense to you. I want to make sure that I'm hitting with a little bit. It does, Boris. Yes. TJ, Lionel, Thomas. Yes. Makes sense, guys. Okay, great. Okay. Crystal clear. Good. For all of you new guys in here, stick around. If you're around the right crowd, I promise you this will be where you want to be. Okay. Now, let's take a look at a short. Same thing, but I just want you to pay attention to what happens. I want you to pay attention to the volume. Take a look at the volume. The volume's creeping, slowly creeping and expanding, slowly. And then all of a sudden you get this shift, which the volume expands at the same time as price. The breakout is proving volume. And the key here is that if you were using a static profile, you might have the Valeria high way over here. You might even have the Valeria low way over here because of the static profiles over here. Like, you can't do this. And when we look at this, this is why I love being able to freeze dynamic volume, because it gives you the evidence that you can see that volume is leading the move in this regard. And that's where you can see you get the short comes in, you get the pop, and it enters on the confirmation bar on the break of volume. And, it's really clean. The signals don't change. Like, the signal is always going to be the break of the value areas expanding and exploding. And you're not going to get trades if the market's not doing anything. Like, it's that simple. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. I ran this on the S&P. I just want to talk about the profit to distribution ratios. Now, this was a scalp template, so we're going to get in here. This was a scalp template. We're going to get into other stats. I've got other templates. We've got a bunch of them, actually. But this was just for a very short sample size of data, right? This was 45 trades, right? And this was a quick scalp, 0.5R multiples, looking at this $5,000 profit for a $500 drawdown. Now, this is recent. This was a couple of weeks, it's about a week old here. We ran this. We'll go in and show you some other examples. These are some examples of this template that was running. And this is literally just a month of data, 45 trades on volume. And this was this template, okay? Now, we're going to show you other templates, but I want to talk a little bit about something that we do with regards to testing. Because we're using time or dynamic range bars, well, that was that template, Kim. So it was just on a different time frame. Yeah, we'll go into different. Yeah, you're going to see a whole lot more trades in the NASDAQ and the S&P for the new templates. This was just an older template. Yeah, we're going to show you other ones, newer ones, Kim. Yeah, because we can throttle the amount of trades depending on the amount of time frames. If you're trading a 5-minute chart versus a 1-minute chart versus a 15-minute chart, that's the difference. Like, I think that was on a bigger time frame. Yeah. So let me go in here and show you an example of something that's very important. You guys need to learn about. Okay. If you're trading a range bar, every single candle is the same, right? If you're trading a range bar, right? If you're trading a Renko chart, right? Every candle is the same. If you trade a time chart, one candle could be like this, one candle could be like this. If you're trading a volume chart, same thing. The difference is this is called fixed range. This is called variable range. Time, volume, tick, anything that has variable range candles means expanding and contracting volatility. If you're using range or Renko charts, it means it doesn't matter what the market's moving, you're just going to get more bars. So the difference between the two drives money management, and it also drives adaptability. We have it built in where you can basically tell the algo how much you want to risk. Let's say you want to risk $500 per trade, or $1,000 a trade, or $250 a trade. We have it in the system that it'll automatically auto adapt to your money management on the fly based off of the stop sizes. Why would that be important? If you're using a value area high and the point of control, you might have a stop loss that's small, one trade, and a stop loss that's bigger, but it's all dynamic based off of the system. To me, this is like the genie that gives you three wishes, because you don't have to go in and actually change your position sizing or updating your strategy every single trade, because it's automatically going to adapt for you. It's automatic money management. This was one of the biggest advancements that we've ever done inside of the algos, is because this now allows you to dictate your risk per trade, and it automatically does everything else. You don't need to do anything. It's undeniably the most powerful thing you could ever have in an automated system, because now you can apply it on any time frame, any bar type, whatever you want. You define your risk and the system does everything else. This to me is worth more than the algo, in my opinion, because money management drives everything in the business. And you have the ability to do other advanced things with money management. And with your permission, I want to be respectful of your time today. I want to basically leave this for the AMAs tomorrow. We're going to do some advanced training, and I want to talk about how using high watermarks can let you have unlimited upside and very little downside on every single winning day. How many of you guys have had a day where you've made a lot of money and then you gave it all back to the devils of the market? Give me a yes if you can relate with that statement. You've had a day where you've made a bunch of money and you gave it all back. There's ways for you to stop that, and we can show you how to do that using our money management filters. A lot of people don't realize that we've built in high watermark functions that allow you to capture the unlimited profits, but on a day where it's not giving you those unlimited profits, it just stops you. And the reason I love this so much is because sometimes I'm not a big believer in daily goals and losses. I don't like them. I think that the reason these are there is because most traders think that that's the best way. A little bit of experience here, I'm going to share with you years of experience, is that the comparison of the daily losses and goals versus the comparisons of high watermarks, the high watermark is going to make you way, way more money over time than the daily goals and losses. Why? If you set a daily goal of, let's say, $1,000, and you hit that and the market stops and you stop trading for the day, okay? What if that $1,000, the next trade would have been a win, and the next trade was a win, and the next trade is one of, you've seen those days where the market just rips and it just keeps giving you trade after trade. If you set a daily goal, what ends up happening is that you cap your upside potential. You can do the exact same with a high watermark by setting the same settings to achieve the daily goal, but it'll never stop you from taking the next trade. So if the next trade was a win and the next trade was a win and the next trade was a win, you're not losing out on taking $1,000 day that could have been a $3,000 day. And what you can do is you can set your high water mark that, let's say you did hit the $1,000, the next trade was a win, but then the next trade was a loss and it hit the high water mark. You didn't lose any upside potential, but you didn't give any downside risk back to the market. This is what prop firms do on their traders. They allocate high water marks to their top traders. This is a little bit more advanced, but I'm telling you guys, if you learn how to do this, you can scale the upside and still protect your downside risk without having to cut the big winning days. You've heard those sayings, let the winners run. Well, you also want to let the winning days run, because some days, on the big trending days or the days where the market just keeps ripping, you could be making a lot more money while not giving it back. But let's say the market doesn't give you those big runs, you still make the same amount of money without losing the downside risk. This is some really, really cutting edge stuff that we're going to be teaching you guys on money management. How many of you guys would like to learn how to set this up? I would like to teach it to you. I know the guys can teach it to you. We will show it to you. You just need to come to learn, right? Yeah, it's stuff that normally we would only teach this in our coaching environments, but we're going to start teaching it in the AMAs so that you guys, it's not complicated. It's super, super easy. It's so easy that in like 10 minutes, I can show you how to set it up. And then that way you don't cap your upside potential, but you always protect your downside risk, right? Super, super, super cool stuff to learn. I'm going to show it to you with our guys. Okay. So this to me is unreplaceable if you're going to run systems. Now, what I had Jim do, how many of you guys know Jim Simmons? You know, he's one of my main guys on the education side, you know, one of our trade room educators. God bless him. He's a huge, huge asset to the team. I had him film a video so that he can show you the trade in action. We filmed it in faster speeds so that we could be more mindful of your time in a webinar, because we know your time is precious and we want to make sure that we can get through the meat and get you right to the details. So I'm going to show you the webinar video. We just filmed this, guys. I'm going to share my system audio because a lot of traders like to see the setups taking place in advance. We used market replay to show you the execution, so you can see the profiles unfolding in real time. You're going to see these shifting. You're going to see things moving. It's going to show you 2 trades really quickly, and then we're going to get into performance reviews. Okay, so let me see if you can hear this.
Hey traders,
can you hear that? Yeah, you guys can hear that? Okay, perfect. I'll make sure you guys can hear it.
Jim Simmons here with ARC AI and Neuro Street Trading Academy, here to do a quick overview and demo of the all-new Value Area Breakout Algo. Now, this is a great tool trading dynamic volume profiles that can be set to any time frame you choose. Now, on this chart, we have this set to MNQ on a 1-minute chart, and the volume profiles are set to renew every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, there's a new dynamic volume profile that will plot. And currently you can see the value area high, you can see the value area low, point of control, and so on. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive in and see what this algo can do. Here we go.
So it's going to get fast here, guys, because we're speeding it up, and I'm going to basically pause it when it hits. So watch. So I'm going to pause it. Do you see how the volume is shifting here? As the market's trading down, as the market's trading back up, I want you to take a look at this volume here. Look at this volume here. It shifted down, but the bars didn't move. This is the things that you don't even realize are going on in the market because nobody be paying attention to that. That's the fake out. The market tries to trade back down, it shifts the volume, and then it pumps back in. Now, I want you to pay attention here. Take a look at the bars here. The bars stayed in, it broke out, but the volume didn't move. You see this? The volume didn't move. That's also telling a story, okay? Because the volume is not moving, and we're going to get into the rules of the signal here when you go into the training, but let me just play this again here. Now the volume's moving. Do you see the volume shifting? Okay.
Oh. Hey traders, Jim Simmons and I'm here to demo. This is cool trading dynamic that can be on this on a new,
let's move it up here, guys. There we go.
That will plot.
So let me just speed this up. There we go. So it comes back into the volume. Watch the volume shifting with the bars. Now the algo is turned on. You're going to see the start of day. This is now the starting time. Okay. So you're going to see here the volumes are getting tight. Okay. We're going to talk about that in a moment here. Let's continue. So let's stop there for a second. Okay. What happened here is the volume and price shifted with the breakout on the same candle. And this is something you're not going to catch in real time unless the algo is going to catch it for you. You're going to see how this works here. There's the trade. Now let's watch for another trade here. Let's stop right there. The volume breaks out. The value areas are shifting lower. We're going to watch it unfold. Okay. Now I'm going to basically, this is going pretty fast. But the reason we want to do that is because ultimately volume takes time to develop. I'm going to go in and show you the actual charts of the last couple of weeks of the markets that we've run the templates on, because volume is going to be very hard to track in real time. The system's going to do it for you. But you can see here that this is an example of a breakout long. This is an example of a breakout short. And then basically we'll go into more details here, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a demo on that. Okay. So this was a strategy template that I just ran. I think I posted this for you guys. For those of you that were in our Discords, I ran this on the S&P. I was just blown away by it. Like, I was blown away by the amount of activity that was happening on a daily basis. Like, a lot of times you get strategies that produce this, and that's just what you get every single day. But what I was noticing is that every single day was massive trades, massive days. because of the breakouts that are happening with volume on the time frames that we're trading it. Now, if you were trading on, say, a 30-minute chart or a 240-minute chart, I mean, this is different, right? And, you know, these are the things that'll just be depending on what strategies you want to trade, okay? So let me go in and actually take a look at the charts here. So let's go in and take a look at this for a second. I just want to go out and show you. This is an example of the amount of trades on the S&P. I'm going to show you this for a second, okay? So if we go in here, you can see the value areas. Let me just go in here and go and take a look here. And here it is, perfect. So the volume profiles are going to be shifting with the bars. There's the breakout right here. You get a long, you get another long breakout here. You get another long breakout here. This one here was a stop loss. This one here was a win. This one here was a win. The reason you're going to get these amount of trades every day is because when the market's moving, the volume profiles are shifting. And therefore, our software is going to pick the breakouts of the volume when it's breaking out of the range of the value areas. This was a stop out. Here was another break, and here was another break. Okay. Now, if we were to put this on a standard volume profile software, like if you were to use a volume profile indicator, or if you were to use manual profiles, the value area would be static, which means you would not be seeing the shifting of the profiles doing this as the market's unfolding. You would see one value high and one value low for the life of the market. And therefore, you're not trading with the market. You're trading what everybody thinks the market's doing. And that's called static. Dynamic will give you the opportunity to trade the profile breakouts as they're happening, which is why we call it freezing the profile, right? It's really, we're freezing volume in real time, okay? Now, I want to show you the NASDAQ. This is recent. We ran this recently, ended yesterday. And I'm going to show you this. This was the results on the NASDAQ up until the 8th, yesterday. So this was yesterday's profit was 800, 15, 19, 3, 7, 23, 3, 8, 1900, 1200, 1500, 23. This is every single day from the 15th all the way to yesterday. This is the NASDAQ. And what we found is that, let's take a look at this. This is the strategy parameters that we're testing, and I want to explain this. The volume profile value areas are set to 80%. Like, this is the reason, like, I love having an algo, because every single volume profile trader is going to set their profiles at 70%. Our data is basically telling you that that's not the best settings to have the volume profiles breaking out, right? And this is the key here, is that we can let the data drive the decisions. Now, I don't know about you guys, but, you know, to me, that's a lot of hits. Like, that's a lot of success in a very short period of time. How many of you guys would have liked to make that on the NASDAQ over the last 2 weeks? I mean, anybody here would have liked to pull in those numbers on the NASDAQ every single day? Exactly. Okay. Now we're going to get into all these other, what you see here is the entries. These are the engine parameters, the targets, the stops, the time settings. This has not used money management, which I think could have probably yielded better results if we were using it. Jose, are you okay with me teaching something to your, Jose asks a great question, and I think it needs to be addressed to the audience. Jose, are you okay with me addressing your question? You said, how many contracts traded? Are you okay if I call you out on something, Jose? I just want to, sure. Because I'm going to hopefully teach you something and teach everybody else here. How many contracts doesn't matter? That's old school thinking. Why? Risk per trade matters. Okay. Risk per trade matters. I don't know what the hell just happened there. Just delete it and I'll do it again. Risk per trade matters. Why? Your stop loss size changes. So if your stop loss is that size on trade number 1, and it's this size on trade number 2, and it's this size on trade number 3, it's this size on trade number 4. The amount of contracts that you trade means absolutely nothing. What matters is that you set your risk per trade. Let's say I want to risk $500 per trade. The algo is going to auto adapt your contracts. Maybe this would be 10 contracts. Maybe this would be 8 contracts. This would be 9 contracts. Maybe this would be 5 contracts. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the algo does what it's supposed to do, following your risk per trade. Now you can change that inside the software, but you're going to see here, if I go to entries, we have it set to $500 risk per trade, which means I don't care if it trades 3 contracts or 10 contracts. What matters is that I'm never risking more than $500 a trade. Okay. Does that make sense? So that way you can change it. Now, do you have an option for risk per trade? Yeah. So this is percentage risk. Yes, percentage risk, fixed dollars. So if you want to risk 1% or 0.5%, 2%, absolutely. So in the future, don't worry about how many contracts you're trading, if the system is designed to auto adapt your money management for you, which is what I meant by it's a huge advantage. Okay. Now, that's the NASDAQ. Steady to the moon, right? And the reason I like the NASDAQ, okay, is because it produces a lot of trades every day. It produces a lot of trades every day. And I like taking a lot of trades. I'm a day trader. So, for me, when I look at the net profit, okay, this is the difference between this system and every other system we've built, is that the overall net result is so much bigger. Okay. 22 grand with a $2,000 drawdown, 200 trades in the last month. It's a lot of freaking trades, guys, right? That's 200 trades with a 70% hit rate. We're at about 0.7R multiple on this, close to a 1-to-1 on this, right? I like this to be better than a 1-to-1, mainly because this is better for prop firm trading. So if you're looking to get funded, it's not going to creep up on your trailing drawdowns, right? And so to me, these are the metrics I'm looking at. I'm looking at activity. I want a lot of activity, and I want to see a lot of profit for that activity. Sometimes you get a lot of activity, but the net profit won't be the same. And so this is why it's such a valuable edge to this. So I mean, to me personally, like, I like those types of consistency. Every single day it's hitting, right? And that's a NASDAQ, right? And so hopefully you guys see value in that, right? Now, I know take a look here. How many of you guys like, winning the lottery? I know I do. Take a look here. We're going to run a poll. We're going to give away a free license. The license will be awarded. The license will be awarded after. Ashley's going to send out an email to the winner. I just need to know if you want it, because if you don't put yes, then I can't put you in the draw. So I need to know on 3, 2, 1, answer the poll. Do you want a free license or not? One of you will win it. And if you do buy it and you win it, we'll just refund you the money directly into your account, because we get that. Sometimes we've had that happen where somebody buys because they're excited about the software, and then all of a sudden tomorrow we announce the winner and they won, and we just give them back their money. That's fine. But I just want to let you know that you need to be here. You got to be in it to win it, right? So you got to be here to answer the poll, which means you can qualify. So those of you that stuck around to the end, kudos to you, right? So we build a lot of systems, Jim? We build a lot of strategies, we spent a lot of time in R&D. We spent a lot of time developing software. There's a few of them that stand out amongst the crowd. And, it takes a lot for me to come out on record and say this, but, this is probably one of the most powerful systems, most consistent systems we've ever built. It's the simplest. It's one of the most profitable systems, and it hits consistently daily. Why? You ask me, it's volume driven. You know, I find sometimes, you know, you catch a mulligan when you can. You know, we build a lot of strategies and these things come out and they just say, wow, like that's just part of having innovation teams, guys, and building great things. You know, we get surprised sometimes, and this is exciting for me to say this, but this system is it's in the top 3 that we've built, in that the way that it produces the results it does. So, you know, if you're looking at investing money in an automated system or looking to drive alpha, I'll get behind this and say this is one of the things, the most powerful systems we've ever built. Why? Because I think it freezes volume, and it's something nobody's done, and nobody's been able to do successfully in that. They've never tried that, right? So now you don't need to use you don't need to buy any other volume tools. It works on Ninja. You don't need to buy their volume profile add-on stuff. You can use a freaking demo account. If you can attach it to your prop firm accounts, you can do all that. It's fine. Yeah, you can use it with a prop firm eval if you're trading for a prop firm. Absolutely, yes. So I think I've got a lot. I think, you know, 83% have participated in this. So, you know, I think that's good. I think for those of you that didn't choose, that's fine. So we're going to end the poll. Good. So I think I've done quite well. I've stuck to the hour. It only works on Ninjatrader, Luis. Yeah, it only works on Ninja. So are you guys okay with me getting into the pricing, break down the value stack, break down the offer? Then we'll stay for some questions and we can do some Q&A. Like I said, did you guys learn something from this event? You guys, how many of you guys found value in today's presentation? I always like to ask that, because if you're not here learning, what the hell's the point? Yeah, give me a yes that you enjoyed it. You know, we try to move the needle in certain things. And I believe this one hits the mark. We'll probably do a lot more training on this one, because I think a lot of people will use this with simplicity and get big results on this. Jeff, Jim, are you guys okay with doing some extra training on this if we got a lot of people come in under this?
Yeah, this is a really great system, guys. You know, as far as strategy, like I've looked at strategy separately.
Jim's on a vacation right now. He's been
well.
on Mars, so we can't really hear him when he sits in his rocket ship.
Oh, my rocket ship again?
Yeah, your internet's cutting out, brother. Yeah. Jim's
All right,
testing.
well,
Yeah. Say that again, Jim. I think we'll take 2. Yeah.
I'll type it in.
Yeah, Tim's gonna type it in, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so we'll go into questions, guys. I see a lot of questions here, so let's just bear with us here. I just want to kind of explain the pricing. So the way this works is that I'm going to break this down. So this top part is the software side. So this is the signal generator, and this is the engine. Okay, so it's part of the software aspect. Okay, it's a one-time purchase, so it's not a subscription. You don't got to pay for it on an ongoing basis. You buy it, you use it, you own it. Okay. And the code updates. When we update the code, you'll get it for 2 computers. And when we do release updates, you'll get access to those updates. Okay. The engine is a major part of this. Normally, we could sell this at a whole lot more, but we don't. We feel that if you're going to use an algo, we should at least give you the keys to drive it, right? If you're going to buy a car, you need the keys to drive it, right? We dedicate different groups in our chat rooms. So we have an algo group for every system. So anybody using the systems can communicate with other traders using the systems. Very detailed documentation. If for those of you that are new in here and you want to have us install it, we will install it. We will work with you to get it on your computer. If for whatever reason you need any help, we're here to help you. We will provide you those templates that you've seen in the demo here. We built those templates. We spent weeks getting those ready for today's presentation, but we'll also go over the settings in tomorrow's AMA. Everybody who buys an automated system from us gets our primer course, because we have a deep dive automated strategy course to help you get started with algo trading. And then ultimately, we are going to be doing a VIP event tomorrow. What is a VIP event? Well, it's only for people that own the system. So if you want access to that training, you got to come, you got to buy the system, you got to buy the software to be invited tomorrow, because we're only going to be doing that with people that own the software. So I really, truly believe that this is in and of itself magical, because it's going to help you understand this and understand how to use the system and the settings. And we normally walk you through the templates and all of that stuff, right? So normally, if you were to put this all together, you're looking at about 7K for the system. We know a lot of other vendors that sell strategies for 10K, 5K. right? We don't do that here because we have a lot of automated systems. So we discount down and we give it to you for peanuts on the dollar. Why? Because I would rather help everybody than help a select few that want to pay $5,000. Sure, we could sell these for 10K, 5K, et cetera, but then I can't. When we built the software, we built the companies, it's to help as many people as possible, which means it needs to be priced at a price point that's affordable for everybody, yet still makes sense for us as a business, right? So, I mean, you're saving a lot. We're dropping over $5,000 off the price, $6,000 off the price, excuse me, $6,000. You're getting 6K off. It's massive, right? So, Jim, if you could put the link in the chat box, that would be great. What's nice, you only have 48 hours to get access to this deal. So if you're going to use it, you've got 24 hours to get in for the AMA if you want to join that AMA, but you got 48 hours to get the system. So if you're in it, you're in it. Like there's no in between, right? It's either you love it or you don't, right? And we're going to do the classes tomorrow, and you're going to have access to our instructors to go through that. Now, a couple things. Everybody always asks, what's your guarantee? It's this simple. It's you love it or you replace it. We have over 70 products under ARC, one of the biggest development companies in the business. And if you don't love it in 30 days, trade it for something else in the company, right? We will swap it. I'm guarantee you'll find something else that you love. You will not lose your investment. You will basically have the opportunity, and it's a guarantee. Like you have no risk to you guys. So we always like to make sure you understand that we do have a guarantee in place, so that you're not feeling like hey, I bought something and this like this. And I promise you this, that for those of you that are new in here or you've never bought a system from us, you're going to have a breath of fresh air because our support is unmatched, our training is unmatched, and we'd be more than happy to help you. Now, the details for the AMA tomorrow. Tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Be there or be square. Okay, because we're going to be doing deep dives on the volume. We're going to be doing deep dives on money management. We're going to be doing deep dives on the core engine, making sure you understand the templates, making sure you understand the mechanics. If you need help, you just be there, guys. Show up, come, etc. We will record it. We will make sure that those of you that own the system get access to the recording. So let's say you buy it, you plan on coming, but you can't make it. As long as you own the software, you will have access to that recording. Okay, so that's important to know. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to thank everybody for giving me an hour of your day to be able to show you some great innovation. I'm going to go back to here now and leave that so that we can go over the Q&A. And how many of you guys are excited? I'm going to pull up a poll here. Can you guys do me a favor? While I go over the Q&A, I want to ask, because we only have so many people. I've got educators, I've got guys in R&D, and I've got a couple support people. There's a lot of people in this webinar. There's hundreds of people in here. So if there's a lot of people that are buying this, I need to know, because I need to let my guys know to stay late. I need to let them know to help with the installs, etc. And I just need a common courtesy check. If you could tell me if you're in it, if you're buying it, because that helps me help with management of the people so that you get the support you deserve. So I'm going to launch this poll. Do me a favor and just tell me if you guys are planning on buying this or not, so that I can let my guys know you guys are going to need the installation and the help and the licensing and all that stuff. Now, so yeah, you're going to get $6,000 off the Algo launch. Yeah. Normally this will be over $2,500 retail on the website, and yeah. The link to purchase, Jim, yeah, we can post it in there for you. Do me a favor, please, guys. Can you just do me a favor and just type yes? Either you're going to buy it or you have questions, and let us know and we can follow up with you. Just do me a favor. If you're here, if you're in the poll, please answer the poll. That'd be greatly appreciated so that I can have my team help you guys. Okay. Perfect. The link is not working, Lionel says. The link to the page isn't working. Ashley, you here? Not sure. We'll double check here. One second. Yeah, give us a second, guys. Maybe too many people are hitting the website at once, and Crashing the servers. Good problem to have. Helping too many people. Jimmy there? Yeah, it's a server issue.
Yeah, guys, it's a server issue. I don't know what the deal is, but we'll keep working on it on the back end. Just hang tight for a couple of minutes here. It should kick back on.
One second here, guys. Rest assured, we'll be sending out the link. You'll be able to buy it. Let's go through some questions, Jim. If we can answer some of these questions, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And Thomas says, "You are the shit. This is incredible." Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it. Yeah, give us a second, guys. I'm just talking to our back-end web teams here. Perfect. So I'm going to go through so Ashley's here now. She's aware. She's going to take care of it. So let me go through here, guys. We got a ton of questions. Can you do me a favor? I've only got 36 people that have answered the poll. Not very cool, guys. I need a little help, right? I need you guys to answer this poll because we can't help you if we don't know the true intent of everybody. It takes 1 second to fill out the poll, right? And if you don't like me, just type FU in the chat box. I know I'll get the drift. Right, but do me a favor, please. Just type it in the poll so I can know, because I have to have staff stay late. I need to make sure I tell my team to stay late, and it's only fair to you guys that you get the support you need, right? I think that that's a pretty good request, right, guys? I want to make sure that you guys can understand that, right? I want to make sure of that. So let me go through the questions here. I'm going to go through this. Ashley and Faison are working on it. 1 second here. Margin requirements. Yeah. So what about margin requirements? Well, it really plays into the actual amount of contracts you want to trade, right? You should know how much money you have in your bank account to be able to cover the margins, and you can set your risk per trade and you know, or you can do percentage risk. That's all done inside of the engine. Yeah. Does this run in the cloud? No, this runs on your computer, Edward. Yeah, it runs on your computer. You can trade more than one symbol at a time. Absolutely. Yeah, you can trade as many symbols as you want as data. Yeah. So let's keep going. Bear with me here, guys. I'm just going through the questions. There's a ton of questions. I just got to scroll down. You can use a sim. You can use Ninjatrader on a sim account. You can trade with a prop firm. Yes, you can basically do a live account either way. Yeah, no problem. It is promising. Yeah. Let me say, I seen a question here. How is this different than the CWAP? Great question. The CWAP is a trend trading system that follows the pullbacks. This system is designed on the value area breakouts, which is the explosive volume. You're going to catch the moves on this before the pullback happens. So this is going to happen. You're going to get into a trade before a trend kicks off. And that's the key, is you want to get in at the beginning of the move. Trend trading on the CWAP is very valuable. It's one of our most profitable systems. I know you guys asked, you know, you got a lot of strategies. Which ones are your top three? The top three would be this strategy, the CWAP, and the HFT algo. Those are the three top used systems that we've ever built. mainly just due to performance. And this is, I would say, neck and neck at the top. It just depends on the type of system you want to use. In my experience, this is a lot simpler to trade. Simpler and easier strategy. Yeah. Yeah. This can be used on NinjaTrader only at this time. Kim, yeah, if you bought other algos in the past, you can swap them out for other algos on the store. Swaps are not available for new launches. They're only available for past products. So if you bought an algo and you didn't like it, or if you wanted something different, or you felt something else was in our store that you preferred, you can swap it. Yeah. It's just not, you can't transfer the credits forward. There's 100 other products on the website you can swap it for of equal value. You can use it for multiple computers, yes. We are recording the webinar tomorrow for the strategy class, yes. Yes, we're going to give you the templates for the strategies. Absolutely. That's the whole point, is that we've built everything for you. You can use them. Yes. Which one is better, order flow or volume profile? That's a very different question. It's not about being better. They're just different. Volume profiles, volume profile, order flow is order flow. If you were to really get down to the nitty gritty, this is a lot simpler than order flow. Yeah, simple is much better for a lot of traders, actually. Yeah.
Sean, there was a question about whether algos are.
Can't hear you, Jeff. You're sounding like you're on the moon, brother.
There was a question about whether algos were allowed on Apex or other funding companies.
Yes, they are, because we have an on-off switch that you can step in and manually override the signal. Yeah, we designed that on purpose. A lot of black box systems are not. You cannot. So do me a favor, guys. Ashley's just informed me that the servers are down, which is outside of our control. We have to wait. It's a hosting issue. And so everybody who's planning on buying has to fill out the form, or you will not get the link to buy. So you have to fill out the form. If you can do me, if you're planning on buying, you need to check, you need to choose yes, because we have, our servers are down. Unfortunately, it crashed. Hey, that's life, you know, life happens. Throws a curveball. Please fill out the poll, because Ashley has to send you the link to buy if you're planning on buying, or we won't be able to send you the link because we won't know you want to buy. Right. So do me a favor, guys. Can you promise me just fill it out? That'd be great, please. We've got about 46% people have filled out the form. Just do that for me now. That'd be great. Yeah, the whole website's down. It's not a, it is what it is. Can you guys talk about the training in place to run this grid? Yeah, so we have we run AMAs on each of the algos. We record those AMAs to teach you how to use the systems. And they're basically, you can have access to those trainings, because not only can you join live, but you can get the recordings. It trades any market you have data for. So it's not just for futures, it's for any asset class you have data. It works on stocks. Yes, it does. You can pay with PayPal. Yes, you can. Very different than the volume divergence algo. Volume divergence looks at volume clusters in the bar, whereas this is value areas. This is the entire profile that's dynamic. Yeah. Yes, you can use this Samir with Apex. Absolutely. We have an on-off switch. Yes, we can log on. You can get the white glove setup. You can ultimately fill out the form, send us an email. We can set up an install, and we can definitely install it on your computer. No problem. Yeah. Hey, no problem, Lars. Yeah, glad you enjoyed the presentation. If you're on an iPhone or a tablet, you might not see the form. You might not see the poll. Yeah. Back out what form. So there should be a poll that is live right now that has been running. So there should be a poll that has been launched. Maybe you accidentally closed the poll. Yeah. So I'm going to end the poll. And then basically, I'm going to relaunch the poll so that everybody can see it. Can you guys do me a favor? That way I can get you guys the links. Do me a favor. If you're planning on buying, I need to know. I'm going to relaunch this poll. Yes. I need you guys to do me a favor. Please fill out this new poll because I need to know for us to send the links. Just do me a favor. You should see the poll, please. We can't send you the purchase links if you don't fill out this poll. So please, for those of you that are buying, I need to know because we can't send you the links. The servers are down, and we need to know if you're planning on buying the system. This is not smoke and mirrors. This is us asking for some help. Right? There we go. I need everybody to fill it out. If you're not sure, if you know you're going to buy, you have to say the yes. If you're not sure, just fill out the other one so that we know. Yeah. And if you're on an iPad or a phone, et cetera, then no problem. Perfect. Do me a favor, guys. Help me out and fill out the poll. We've got about half of you that have done that, so that would be great. The AMA, let me show you the AMA times are here. Tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great. And don't forget, we offer a guarantee. 30 days, you can love it or swap it on our site for anything else under the umbrella. And we got your back. Type a Y in the chat box that you enjoyed the presentation. You're super excited for dynamic volume and you enjoyed being here. That's important. I want to thank you guys for your time. Guys, it's been a pleasure. We always try to serve and innovate and add value. And I want to thank you guys for your attention today. We kept it in under an hour and a half, which is great. And super pumped to have you guys come into the chats, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Jim and Jeff will be there, and our guys will be there doing the AMA, and super pumped to have you guys be a part of the algo community, right? So take care, traders. Thanks for being here. I'm going to end that poll and get you guys the links. Excellent. Have a great day, guys. Take care.